Morning team. Thought I'd have another chat to you today. And today I wanted to have a bit of a talk to you about anxiety. One of the questions I ask when people come to my office worried about anxiety is anxiety, good or bad? And for the majority of the time people believe anxiety is bad. But if it wasn't for anxiety, the human race would have died out a long time ago. Because back at the beginning of time, when we were out walking beside the river and a tiger jumped up, anxiety was the thing that kept us alive. There's a little thing in the back of our head called the amygdala. The amygdala would set off a signal. That signal would send some electrical pulses to some glands in our body. Those glands in our body would dump a bunch of chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline, and those chemicals would cause physiological responses in our body, which we'll talk about in a second, and put us into fight or flight mode. Simply put, run away or bash it with a stick. And so with that in mind, what do you feel when you get anxious? Pretty bog standard answers are increased heart rate, increased respiration, butterflies in our tummy, we sweat, we become hypervigilant, hyper-focused, and all these things are designed to keep us alive. All the things that we feel in our body happen for a reason, so that we can run away or bash something with a stick. The reason we go into that so deeply is because those are the first signs that we experience when we start to become anxious. And the earlier we can pick it up, the earlier we can do something about it. Our anxiety system is designed for things that are going to kill us. They're designed for imminent danger. For all of the anxiety we experience, how often are we in imminent danger? A few ducks doing what ducks do. How often are we in imminent danger? Not very often. So we're going to talk about smoke alarms. I'm guessing in your house you've got a smoke alarm. And what's a smoke alarm's job? A smoke alarm's job is to tell us that our house is burning down. Question: have you ever heard your smoke alarm go off? And everyone says yes. And for the most part, I ask, was the house burning down? And generally the answer is no. And so I ask what was going on. And they tell me one or two things: flat batteries or burning toast. So we've got this pretty high-tech bit of equipment that's designed to tell us the house is burning down. But the majority of the time when it goes off is because of burnt toast. We've got a little bit of equipment in the back of our head that's very similar, our amygdala. You can't tell the difference between lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And Susie called me a name. I don't like the way that Bobby looked at me. I've got to test you on Monday, or I'm really tired and I can't cope. And so we tend to end up having all these I'm going to die reactions to things that aren't going to kill us. We have my house is burning down reactions to burnt toast. If you were sitting at home tonight, your smoke alarm went off, what would you do? Would you run outside, call the fire department, grab the hose and start spraying the house? Or would you go into the kitchen and have a look? I would suggest that running outside and spraying the house down is a reaction. Going in, having a look, deciding if the situation is dangerous or not, and then formulating an appropriate response is a response. And the difference between a reaction and a response is a breath, a moment, affording ourselves the opportunity to have a thought about what we're anxious about and whether it's dangerous or not. So, the number one tip for managing myself to make sure I respond rather than react is cyclic sighing, or I call it the 3-4-5 because that's what it is and it tells you what to do. How does it work? Well, we have kind of a positive feedback loop built into our system when it comes to anxiety. When we get scared, our mind sends a signal to our body to breathe more. When we start breathing more, our body sends a signal back to our mind saying, I'm breathing more, and our mind then goes, well, I'm scared, so I better breathe more. With our body so focused on getting oxygen, that's how we end up with that feeling of I can't breathe when we're on the verge of a panic attack. Because we are so busy trying to get air in that we forget to breathe out. So when you're sitting there on the verge of a panic attack, it's not because you can't get any air in. Well, it is. But it's because you can't get any air in. You can't stuff a sock that's already got a foot in it. Your lungs are already full. We need to focus on the out. So the 3-4-5, we're going to go with a short in breath, a hold, a long out breath, really focusing on getting the air out. Before you do it the first time, I want you to just take a note of how anxious you are. Give yourself a score out of 10, with 10 being I'm having a panic attack, and 0 being or 1 being I'm about to take a nap. Try the breathing and see how you feel afterwards. So I'll just get you to try it with me now. We'll do 3 breaths, and here we go. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's it. That's my quick tip for today. Check. Where do you feel out of 10 now? Did you notice a reduction? In session, generally, I get a reduction of somewhere between 30 and 60%. You get pretty good immediate effects. A couple of other things while you're trying to learn it, because you're not going to know how to do it when you're freaking out if you don't practice it. So what I suggest to people, once an hour, every hour, do the 3 breaths like we just did, so that you can learn how to do it. Plus, do it every time you start to freak out for however long it takes to return yourself to baseline. So, anyhow, that's enough for today. So as always, be kind to your family, be kind to your friends. Most of all, be kind to yourself. Peace out.